Welcome back to the Us versus Them channel. I'm your host Vince, and we're going to break down the next fight for the upcoming fight card we have this weekend. We got Jamall Emmers versus Hyder Amil. Right now, Emmers is sitting at a slight underdog at plus 122, and Hyder Amil is sitting at a slight favorite at minus 150. Before we get into the breakdown, if I can remind you guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all that shit. But yeah, let's get into the breakdown. We recently saw Hyder Amil come off his first pro loss. He got knocked out in the first round with a knee up the middle by Jose Delgado. But I don't really fault him too much for that because Jose Delgado is really good. And, honestly, this is the style, Hyder Amil has a style of fighting where he's kind of asking for a knee up the middle. He puts a lot of pressure on opponents. He's got already kind of a shorter frame, and he likes to change his level a little bit. So doing all those three things, he's kind of already asking for a knee up the middle. And he's been able to kind of avoid it recently, or in his pro career entirely up until his last fight, because of his high pressure. He's able to put so much pressure on guys, they're not able to land that low likelihood strike, I guess. It's the pressure, but it's also the punching power that he has coming his way. So the offense is good defense. We all know that's how it is for fighting and in sports in general. But he also has a very durable chin, too. Look at the fucking head on him. He's got a big old dome piece. So unless it's a big strike like a knee straight up the middle or something like that, I just don't see him getting caught and getting knocked out this fight. Hyder Amil has kind of a Nate Landwehr style of his fighting, where he's just pressuring forward and throwing a lot of volume, throwing a lot of offense. I compare him to Nate Landwehr because Jamall Emmers is coming off of a recent loss to Nate Landwehr. So it just kind of makes me think, is Jamall Emmers able to deal with if he's not able to deal with the pressure from Nate Landwehr, is he going to be able to deal with the pressure this weekend against Hyder Amil? Because they have very similar styles of fighting. I'm picking Hyder Amil to get this one done, but the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous in picking him is if he gets a little bit gun shy. Like I said, he was undefeated going into his last fight, and then he got knocked out cold. So you just don't really know how a person's going to respond to that after something like that happens. He's never suffered a loss, and then he gets KO'd brutally. That's kind of a harsh transition to go from one to the other. So I'm worried a little bit about him coming to this fight being a little gun shy, especially against a fighter like Jamall Emmers, who does tend to have he does have some big power in his hands. So if he hits him, early in the fight, and he might make him start to think subconscious, like, oh shit, I don't want to get knocked out, cold again. And if you fight tense like that, then you don't fight really well. So that makes me a little bit worried, but I'm still going to stick with my pick. I'm going to go Hyder Amil to get this one done. I think he's going to score. I think his pressure is going to be too much to deal with, and I think he's eventually going to score the knockout that he's looking for. The Hyder Amil KO prop right now is sitting at plus 155, which is kind of like mid-value, if you ask me. I think there's also some decent value in the Emmers knockout prop. That's sitting at plus 320. Like I said, Amil might go into this fight a little bit gun-shy and a little bit reserved, uncharacteristically gun-shy and reserved. And that hesitancy might be something that causes him to lose this fight too. So there's some value in that as well. But I can also see this fight having potential to go to the scorecards. This fight has a multitude of different ways. So I'm not really sure how we're going to put this on the parlays. So stop by for the parlay video to see if we incorporate it in, and if we do, how are we going to do that? That's all I got for you guys in this breakdown. Stop by for the next one where we have Ricky Simone versus Yanni Barcelos. That fight's going to be sick. Two Grizzly veterans going to be battling it out. So it's going to be a fun fight for us to watch, and it's a great opportunity for us to cash in at the fucking counter. So that's all I got for you guys. I could ramble on and on, so I need to stop, and I'm the fuck out of here.